Hey everyone, good evening and welcome to Snapshot Sacramento this week at the theater for May 23rd, 2023. We're cooking right along. We're heading toward Memorial Day weekend, so hopefully you're getting ready to wind down your school year. Some of you may already be out. I know some of the colleges have already graduated. The elementary schools, K-12s, are getting ready to get out of school for the summer, so be careful because kids will be out there, but it's a prime time to get your children involved in some theater camps and wonderful workshops. So think about that. If you want to know more about things like that, opportunities like that for your young folks to participate in some theater activities, please visit SARDA's website, SARDA at SARDA Theaters. You can go to our Facebook page. You can go to a number of different places and check it out. Check it out. We always have information on upcoming workshops and really cool things that are going on. I don't usually bring those to this particular stream because we're focused more on what are the current things that are coming up, what are the auditions that are coming up so we can get you ready for that, what's going to be coming soon, what's playing now, that kind of thing, and the occasional community conversation. And tonight, I have a community conversation for you. So, and it relates to a special event that we've got coming up. So, I'm excited to share that, and we'll share that toward the end of the stream. But let's get started for May 23rd, this week at the theater with our special events and announcements. SARDA is going to be hosting a series of summer one-night events called Tonight Starring. Now, Tonight Starring, the idea behind this is if there's a play or something that you've always wanted to do, like your dream role, the best part that you never got cast for, we're trying to provide opportunities for people to be able to engage in that. So we've already got our first one on the chute and ready to go. So we want you to join us on June 11th at Big Idea Theater. It's over on Del Paso Boulevard. We'll have more information, of course, on our website and on our Facebook page. We'll be sharing this a lot. But our first play, it's going to be a one-night only read of God of Carnage. God of Carnage. It's dark, it's funny, it's got some interesting characters in it, and you'll learn more about it because tonight we're going to have a community conversation with the person who inspired us to start this whole process. His name is Chris Smith, and the star of God of Carnage, who this was their dream role to do, Miss Deborah Bromley. So tonight we'll be talking with them later on. So stay tuned. We'll have more information on this Tonight Starring. Going to happen at least 4 times. We've got one for June, July, August, and September so far. So stay tuned. More to come. If you have ideas for this, you're thinking about it and going, well, there's a play I've always wanted to do, please contact us at SARDA. Just because we're doing these first 4 doesn't mean we can't do more. So we can make it a thing. We're good. All right, let's keep moving. See what else we've got. Free Fall Stage is having a fundraising event, which is so much fun. I have considered these before too, and if you've ever been to one, they're really quite fun. It's like one of those moments where you say anyone can paint, because they sort of give you the idea and let you sort of spin around it with your own take on it, and everybody goes home with a cool piece of art that you created. You're all creative people, and you get to have some drinks and enjoy the folks that you're out with that evening. So this is going to be a paint party and dinner for a night of fun on June 17th at 6 o'clock in the evening. Not your ordinary paint night, as they say. So if you want more information on this, please go to the website for Free Fall Stage, and look up their information on their paint night fundraiser. It'll be great. They're going to have a nice private setting, especially for theater lovers. They're going to be doing this. There's going to be food and beverage, and door prizes and things are included in the cost of the event. And you get to take home, of course, a really nice piece of art at the end of the evening. So go help out a theater company and join their paint night. That's all of the special events I've got coming up, so let's get ready. Grab those headshots and resumes. it's auditions time. So first set of auditions, let's go back to Free Fall Stage. They've got auditions coming up over at Epic Bible College for a production called While the Lights Were Out. So their auditions are going to be on Sunday, May 28th at 6 o'clock, Wednesday, May 31st at 7 o'clock, and then again on Saturday, June 3rd at 5 o'clock. So you've got 3 different options for getting in there and getting your chance to audition for them. They'll have callbacks Wednesday, June 7th at 7 p.m. So 3 different opportunities to audition for While the Lights Were Out for Free Fall Stage over at Epic Bible College. And again, if you want more information on this one, please go to their website for Free Fall Stage and check it out. The McLaughlin Theater Company is presenting its production of Matilda, the musical, and they're going to host auditions for this on May 31st and June 1st. So you've got 2 days, 2 options to audition for Matilda, the musical. They're holding a master class that they've got advertised in here too. You can get more information from McLaughlin Theater Company's website and sign up to come down and audition for them for Matilda the musical, May 31st and June 1st. They're taking virtual audition submissions for School of Rock the musical through June 15th. This production is happening. It's going to be a great one. Yes, it's based on the Jack Black film. This is going to be hosted by, other roles will be announced later on. They're going to have more information on this. This is School of Rock, and it's happening out at the Woodland Opera House. So get your virtual auditions ready for that. Winters Theater Company is announcing auditions for their upcoming production of Much Ado About Nothing. Auditions will be held on Thursday, the 25th at 7 p.m. So that's this week. That's in 2 days. So Much Ado About Nothing in 2 days. This Thursday, the 25th at 7 o'clock at the Winters Community Center on 201 Railroad Avenue in Winters. So if you wanted to do some Shakespeare, this may be your opportunity. Okay. They're also auditioning for Arsenic and Old Lace. Arsenic and Old Lace is just a wonderful dark comedy. I love the dark comedies. Lots of dark comedies out there. This one's directed by Bob Cooner, and it's produced by the State Theater Acting Company. They're going to host the auditions on Saturday, June 10th and Sunday, June 11th, with callbacks on Monday, June 12th. And that'll be at the Auburn State Theater up on Lincoln Way. It's going to be cold readings from the script, so you don't need to prepare anything. And all roles are available for Arsenic and Old Lace, directed by Bob Cooner, produced by the State Theater Acting Company. That's all the auditions we have for you right now. I always ask people at the end to follow us in different places. We have Facebook, we have Instagram. What I want you to understand is when other auditions and things like that pop up, we share those. So we want to make sure that you get a chance to see it if it pops up. So follow us in those places too. I'll ask you again at the end of the broadcast. So what's playing right now, and you've still got another weekend or so to go see some of these, because a lot of them don't close until June 4th. And so that's 2 more weekends for you to get a chance to go to the Sophia Theater. Get your tickets to see a production called Brokeology by Nathan Lewis Jackson. This again is playing over at the Sophia Theater, so tickets are available. bstreettheater.org to get your tickets for Baroqueology. I would go just for the name. It sounds like fun. Roald Dahl's Matilda is playing through May 28th, so this is going to be the final weekend for this production of Matilda the musical. It's playing out at Davis Musical Theater Company, DMTC. I like to do that because we use a lot of acronyms for the theater company names and want to make sure you know where you're going. So this is Davis Musical Theater Company's Young Performers Theater production of Matilda, the musical, it's playing through this weekend, this Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, it's a 4-day holiday weekend, so you might have a wonderful chance to go and see some great things. So that's what's playing right now, but let's take a look at what's coming soon because you've got a lot coming up. A lot. One of the first things that's going to be coming up starting on May 26th, so that opens this Thursday, and we'll be playing through June 25th on Fridays and Saturdays at 7:30 and Sundays at 4:30. Sutter Street Theater will be presenting its production of Cabaret. This is a wonderful one, and everyone really, really, really loves this show. So get your tickets for Cabaret. The Stone House is featuring its production of Gold Can't Love You Back. Clearly, we got some Western theme here, set in the Gold Rush days. It's premiering June 1st at the Stone House. So if you want to get your tickets, please go to their website, The Stone House, for your tickets for Gold Can't Love You Back. You know, it's so true. You might love money, but it doesn't love you back. Celebration Arts is presenting this production, Lynn Notage's By the Way, Meet Vera Stark. It's directed by Nicole Limon, and it's going to be opening on June 2nd, so you have some time yet to get this onto your calendar. Tickets are on sale right now, so you can get your tickets ahead of time. It will be playing through June 25th, so you have plenty of time to see this excellent production by this Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright. By the Way, Meet Vera Stark. Sutter Street Theater is presenting its production of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. This is always a classic and a feel-good production. This will open on June 3rd and play through June 25th on Saturdays and Sundays at 1 o'clock at Sutter Street Theater. Coming to Woodland Opera House will be Mythology Meets Rock and Roll. This is The Lightning Thief, the Percy Jackson musical. We will be having a community conversation next week. Actually, I'll be doing that interview and sharing it with you with the folks from Woodland Opera House who want to talk about this particular production and some of the changes that have gone on at Woodland Opera House. They have a new executive director that they want to introduce to everyone, and this is their upcoming show that they're really excited about. This one will open on June 16th, so it's going to open the middle of next month, but I'm pretty sure your tickets are already on sale, so you can just start marking your calendar to get those tickets for that. It'll be playing on Fridays at 7:30, Saturdays and Sundays at 2 o'clock. Later on, Roseville Theater Arts Academy will be presenting its production of Newsies Junior from June 23rd to the 25th. This is a great young people's production out there. Roseville Theater Arts Academy always presents some of the best in children's and young people's theater, and this will be no exception. So get your tickets early for Newsies Junior in June at the Roseville Theater Arts Academy. Coming to Volcano Theater Company, they're going to be featuring Beowulf and the Bard. Beowulf is that old English epic. You probably had to read it sometime or another when you were in high school or junior high, and it's great and it's fun and it's got monsters and fighting and things like that. They say this is their first superhero story, and you know, when you think about some of the old epics, you might be right. They are stories about larger than life characters. This should be a fun and funny comedy starting June 9th, playing through July 8th. So this is a good piece of summertime fare. Tickets are on sale right now, and it's really kind of cool because Volcano Theater Company is celebrating its 50th anniversary of doing, theater up in this lovely little foothills town called Volcano. So you can get your tickets at volcanotheater.net or call them up to get your tickets for Beowulf and the Bard. Another one that's coming to Volcano Theater Company is Silent Sky, which is a true story which is really kind of cool. I love these ones that are based on true stories of a woman who was an astronomer in 1900, which, was challenging all by itself because women were having a hard enough time being at universities and going to school. But this woman worked to overcome all the obstacles and led her to a scientific discovery that had profound and lasting impacts on the field of astronomy. This will be a really cool production because they're going to host this in their outdoor amphitheater. So you're going to see a play about an astronomer under the open skies in Volcano, sitting under the stars with the big trees all around you. It's a gorgeous theater. If you have any chance at all, you should get your tickets and go see this production, Silent Sky, Volcano Theater Company. It's going to open on August 11th and play through September 9th. Here's another one that's opening at Volcano Theater Company. This is what's coming after Silent Sky. This will be Noel Coward's Blithe Spirit, another comedy, a classic comedy. Noel Coward was writing in the 40s and 50s. This one will open September 15th and play through October 15th. So this is going to sort of be a nice lead into the October holiday season with all of the Halloween kind of things. It's going to be in the historic Cobblestone Theater, which is right across the street from the amphitheater space. So you can take a look at the outside amphitheater, but it's probably going to be a little cold by then to be sitting outside. So this one's going to be at the inside theater. And again, they're celebrating 50 seasons of theater up there at the Volcano Theater Company. So get your tickets and go see Blithe Spirit by Noel Coward, September 15th through October 15th. We've got a new piece that I've added to this in the last week. People are starting to share their season schedules. Coming back from COVID, folks were sort of producing what they could produce as they could produce it. And, the first year back, a lot of people had a lot of trouble just keeping everybody healthy for the run of a show. And now people are really putting those season schedules out there, trying to let everybody know what's coming up, planning ahead so that, they can continue to bring you great quality community theater productions. And so let's take a look at our season schedules. This one's for Davis Musical Theater Company, and they're doing their 39th season of musicals. That's pretty impressive. So this is the 2023-2024 season. They'll be featuring, starting in September, Something Rotten, which is, if you haven't seen this, it's absolutely hysterical. I recently got a chance to see a production of this, and the story is wonderful. If you ever wanted to hang out with people who want to mock Shakespeare a little bit, this is a show for you. Then they're going to have Oklahoma, another classic musical. Then they're going to do Seussical, the musical, starting in January of next year, leading into 2024. Then they will have Fiddler on the Roof, Into the Woods, which I don't know about you, but this is one that has been a Broadway favorite and a local favorite for a long time. And then they're going to wrap it up next summer with The Little Mermaid. So season tickets are $90 for general admission and $80 for students and seniors. And it's going to be at the Gene Henderson Performing Arts Center on Penna Drive in Davis Musical Theater Company. You can, if you plunk down $100 now, you can go to all of these shows. What a deal. What a deal. That's a great price. So think about checking out the theater's seasons and seeing what you could buy into. You'll get the best price on theater if you can buy your season tickets. Well, I think that's about all we've got for that part of it, but I promised you a community conversation. This particular one is going to be featuring the folks who are going to be sharing in our very first summer series, one night event summer series called Tonight's Starring. And the first one is featuring God of Carnage, which is a play by Yasmina Reza, and it's translated by Christopher Hampton, and it's a staged reading featuring Deborah Bromley. This was her dream production to do. So we at SARTA are making it happen. Big Idea Theater is joining us in this by allowing us to use their space on Del Paso Boulevard. As I said, tickets are already on sale, and they're $15 and $20 for the tickets for this one night only special event. I want to share with you our interview and discussion with Deborah Bromley and Chris Smith, who, Chris was our brainchild behind this. He was instrumental in coming to SARTA and saying, you know what, I have an idea. How about if people could do this thing where if it was the play they always wanted to do and couldn't get that part, we could let them do it one night only. And we went, that sounds very cool. So listen as we chat a bit about those particular productions. I'm going to switch to video and I'll be right back. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Community Conversations. This is brought to you by SARTA, the Sacramento Area Regional Theater Alliance. So welcome. And we have two distinguished guests with us tonight that I'm so happy to share the screen with. One is Chris Smith. Chris Smith has been out and about in our theater community for a while now. I first met him up the stage at Burke Junction, then came down to the R25 complex doing a show called The Stupidest Angel. It was wonderful, which is also where I met our other guest, Deborah Bromley. So we're so glad that both of you could join us tonight. And they actually have information on a new program that SARTA is sponsoring that is hopefully going to be the hit of the summer for you, something to do on a hot summer night. Come in and see some cool theater, because we're talking about a program that they've entitled Tonight Starring. So I'm going to first talk to Chris, because this was kind of his brainchild.
Take that, Deborah.
Yeah, right. or crazy moment. and then I'll save the best for last, and we'll talk to Deborah.
We'll end on a better note.
See.
Well played.
And for all of you out there who are watching this community conversation, please bear with us. We are all quite insane. But that's okay. We are actors, and that's what comes with the package. So, Chris Smith, talk to us about this amazing idea. It's not a crazy idea. It's an amazing idea that you actually brought to SARTA a few months ago, and talk about the evolution of Tonight Starring.
Yeah. So I really found a love of theater 5 years ago when I was in college, and I no, all right. And I would go to a used bookstore and bring a play home every once in a while, like something for like $1, and you just a handful of whatever, not knowing it, and end up doing it at home in my little room here on the ranch, just acting out parts and really finding something wonderful in reading of plays on my own out loud, and figuring out how to do the characters and all that, much to the annoyance of my brothers and sisters. I was loud at 11 p.m. So it kind of comes out of that. And I remember also in college, a couple of people we were all living in like this sort of community housing, and we'd all somebody would just say, hey, I need to do a scene, or I want to do this play. Like one of the directors, like, I was thinking about doing this. Everybody sit around and drink some wine or whatever in the living room, and we'll just read through a play tonight. And the joy of like that sort of raw introduction to various pieces, and the ability to just to push yourself into characters that you may or may not play, and trying to figure it out as you're going along, has always been one of my favorite things, and especially when you're with people that you enjoy doing that. So Tonight Starring was kind of came out of that. It was originally conceived as a way to entice actors to come up to the stage. And when we couldn't get it off the ground there, talked to Iris about it. She's like, "Ooh!" Like, absolutely exactly like that. And ooh! How it works. And we, it's an attempt to bring the community together, give actors an opportunity to be in various pieces that don't require a ton of rehearsal, roles that they might not get cast in, roles that pass them by. So I should probably talk about the format to see how it worked. Yeah. So what we're aiming to do this summer is 4 of these with SARTA, where 4 actors that we're trying to find different people of ages, groups, all that fun stuff, get a diverse group of people who just say, I want to do this. It's a bucket list show kind of thing. Where they tell us a couple of months out what show they want to do. We procure the rights, we find an evening to do it. After the matinees, with plenty of time to wipe down the face and take off the whatever and put on the going out and seeing people clothing, so that people can show up to the theater and see their friends and other people in the theater perform a play that will only be there for the evening. It is a reading series, so it's about one actor. In this case, she's down there for me. I don't know where she is for anybody else.
She's up there for me.
Oh.
I'm right here for me.
Perspective.
The world is so wonderful and weird. So when I was conceiving of it, it was just want to do something that is fun and brings various theater groups together, and gives people who don't get the opportunity to do certain things can do a show that they've always wanted to do, or prove that they're capable of doing something. We all know that person who shows up to auditions constantly. There are at least 20 of them who are good, but they don't maybe not know the director or the theater company well enough, so the director chooses somebody who's just as equally good, just not who's more connected to the theater group, or they're just maybe not right for the role that much. And this is an opportunity for people like that who feel that way to get a show around them to showcase themselves. And I've been there are some younger people who see roles that they wouldn't be cast in for 40 years if they're out of college, and they want to play these characters because they just feel a connection to them. Why not here, since we're not really trying to sell tickets to the general public? Prove you have some chops, and we have some older actors who have always wanted to do a show, but nobody's going to cast them as a 20-year-old.
Right.
It's also a really good opportunity, as I've been talking more and more to various other groups, to really crank up the empathy and get in the shoes of people that you're not as well. Sort of an educational experience. It's one of the things that I think theater is really good at, is giving us a snapshot of a person, a community, a lifestyle that we don't know. And this might be a really nice way to sort of do some internal person work as well as character work with a character that you would never be cast as for whatever reason. In the end, it's just a bucket list show that's meant to bring the theater community closer. What I really like about the SARTA model is that we'll be jumping from theater to theater around Sacramento, so you have a reason to show up at you have driving directions now to a theater that you might not have ever gone to before, and now you can go back there. It's like, oh, it isn't that far away. I can easily get there and park and see a show and maybe come back next weekend because she's near. Princess Miss Kitty is communicating.
Is lurking. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was one of the intriguing things when we first had this initial conversation about it, that we could get more of our theater community involved in what was going on, because we were going to have it in different places. And the idea was to get people to go to some of these other theaters in town and see people they wouldn't typically see at these theaters in town doing just a passion piece. And that's got to be a really fun thing to want to do. There haven't been, we talk about the bucket list kind of shows. There haven't been that many of those that have come along, but I know the feeling. I've gotten to do one of mine. So, it's a wondrous thing to be able to get up there and go, I did that show and it was great. I finally got a chance to do that show and it was great. The other thing that was intriguing was to be able to support so many theaters in, a 4-month period of time. It's been a challenge for everybody to come back post-pandemic, to get people just regularly understanding, it's okay to go out to the theater again. We can do this. Find your comfort level, but come and see these amazing folks who've got all this talent, who want to put it on stage and would like to do it for more than 3 people in an audience, so we appreciated that. And that's one of the reasons we, took it to the board, partnered with Chris to say, let's do this thing. And so we now have our first one that's going to be on June 11th. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
A las 6 in the PM.
A las 6 in the PM. That's right. Yeah. We and in fact, tickets are on sale on the website already. The ads are up. I didn't know if you two knew that. Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
We do now.
You did. You do now. It's too late to back out, Deborah. We're selling the tickets. Okay.
Oh, I did want to add.
I'll go get my stunt double.
I wanted to add one tiny thing about when you're talking about community. Like, what we want to do on top of this is have people in the room tell us what they're doing, what's open at the moment, what's about to open, even just what they just loved and just closed. If somebody's like, hey, nobody from this theater is here, but I saw it last weekend, you should go, it's at blah, blah, blah. And also, like, auditions are coming up for blah, blah, blah. To be able to have that sort of community forum in one place for 10 minutes before the show starts, at least, of people plugging their things to other theater people.
Yeah, absolutely. That kind of networking, I think, is something we're missing sorely. And, and that was one of the things that many theater companies and SARTA had to do, was sort of reinvent, okay, so what do the theaters need now? And how can we be there to help support that? So, this has been a wonderful transition for us to start moving in those directions too. I want to also, highlight our other guest here tonight, Miss Deborah Bromley. Deborah was wonderfully hysterical in The Stupidest Angel, and this happens to be one of her passion pieces. So Deborah, I really want you to talk about the show and why was this one the one?
Well, I have so many of the ones, but God of Carnage is more of a modern piece. It's my first Broadway show I ever saw, so I got to see the original American cast on Broadway perform this, and I believe it was Stockard Channing. Please, if I'm wrong, then but we had so many amazing actors get to put this piece onto the American theater stage, and Broadway. This was my first time ever in New York, and I had the opportunity to see my first Broadway play, and it just happened to be this one. The thing about this show that I found amazing, it's a one act, so we never had to break the whole bubble and world of this space of where you have 2 couples and they are dealing with a crisis that some adults and parents deal with, which is their kids had an altercation on a playground. So who doesn't? And being the adults that we are, we have to be civil and we have to come to some sort of understanding. Okay, how do we deal with this problem, as these couples do? And as the story keeps going, I don't want to give too much away if you're not familiar with God of Carnage, but basically what ends up happening is the problem that started with children ends up basically becoming part of the whole setup for these 2 parties. Becomes that playground scenario where we basically digress back into our true forms of selfish little children. The basis of thinking that you're an adult and and mature and you can deal with these things doesn't necessarily mean that we don't have those moments where we will digress into the more primitive senses of ourselves. But the one thing I loved about this, it's a very physical comedy to the point of I sat there in awe thinking, I would not want to be the stage manager of this show every single night, but because there is absolute chaos, there's water, there's cell phones being broken, there's projectile vomiting. But I wanted to know how they did this because it was an amazing. It really hit the, the stage was so huge and everything else. But I sat there going, how did she do that? That was amazing. But as more for the physical setting of this show, which is very subtle because it has to slowly build to. There's so much going in between the lines. And as it's building, what I found really fascinating with this show is the psychology of it. Is when we're kids, I think there's a little bit of grace where we're still trying to learn the process of being a human being and empathetic and learn how to say I'm sorry and dealing with conflict and all these things. And we're told that to be a good citizen of the community in our society, we don't do a lot of things. Well, that's not necessarily true because we do see every day, even in the news, the level of chaos and in a sense, violence that comes about when there is a sense of, push and shove. And there's so much more than that. There's this one initial thing that sets off this whole level of chaos, but now there's other things that kind of draw upon it. You have these families, you have their own chaos within these little units, and then we have more chaos as they're crossing over, and then people are taking sides, and then it keeps switching, which is perfect sense of, if this was a playground, you're going to see the sense of people pointing fingers and making excuses and pushing and shoving, and this is the type of level of physical comedy that just really feeds my soul. I think comedy is an amazing vehicle to be able to tell a story, but comedy in a lot of senses is very dual to drama, as in there's such a sense of darkness within our own sense of our own human entities. And when I was going to school and learning acting and so on and so forth, it was a little intimidating to try to do a very dramatic role because people thought you have to be serious and you have to, you were intense and people are supposed to believe you because you have this thing. And when you're young and your ego is still kind of growing in the sense of not taking things so personally, I had a really great mentor and teacher, but I got the giggles. I was doing the monologue for Lady M when she's saying out, out, damn spot. We all know this, which is also another role that I would love to do. Iago's another one for Shakespeare that I would love to do. But in the sense of my mentor and teacher, I could hear him in the background giggling during my monologue. And I thought, oh, I must be doing something wrong because why are you giggling in such an intense, horrific moment of where I'm exposing my soul to you? Well, never mind. I guess my soul is funny. So it really put it, for years, I wouldn't touch drama with a 10-foot pole. That has changed. I think comedy can be very dark. I think we laugh at things that make us uncomfortable. And for God of Carnage, it is a great way to be very uncomfortable and really see, you can have that sense of, oh, I completely understand what these people are going through, because who doesn't want to punch out their husband once in a while for being a little problematic?
It's a kind way to put it.
I mean, sure. You have a partner in life where you just have a sense of, okay, I don't like you today, and see. But in this, God of Carnage, I think, is a really great vehicle, just one, to have fun, two, to really let your inner frustrations come out to play in a lot of sense. And this is one of the things I really love about acting, is we, as a society, theater has always been a vehicle to teach what is going on within the modern world of the time. Shakespeare brought forth a lot of situations that dealt with the higher ups, the royalty even, and questioning power and questioning society in itself. Other writers have done that as well, and we as a society will watch these things and we have to make a choice. Do we want to see it? You don't have to, but the reality of the matter is this actually does happen. These thoughts actually do happen. People are talking, people are dealing with these things. So how do you put it onto a platform that really opens up that level of discussion and thought? Some people walk away, they're entertained, they go home, they have a bite to eat, and they're good. That's the end of the day. For others, it really opens a sense of wonder or really makes them have to stop and think. And I think those things are amazing to do as an actor for the audience, but at the same time as an actor, it's been very eye-opening to be able to play characters that not necessarily are within what people would deem you as. You know, they look at you and go, okay, I see you as XYZ. That's great. But as an actor, we always want to challenge ourselves. And I think that's one of the things I myself as an actor have been for many years, is being able to, one, break and get out of the discomfort. I didn't touch drama for many, many years. I've been slowly getting into it, and it's a nice way to pull a lot of things out of your box of tricks and life, and it just really gives a great way to be able to, I don't know, exercise those demons, I guess, in a very, very quiet sense. But it's been really nice to be able to do that again and not feel so self-conscious about that.
Yeah. I don't not exercise the demons, fulfill the fantasy.
Yeah,
there we go.
but I mean, demons, angels, whatever you want to call them, whatever and this is one of the biggest things I do really love about theaters. You get to play. Yeah. So even as adults, and we go about our lives and we have to do our adult things, why can we not be able to explore and play and be able to do these things that we love? And this is what I love. Yeah. This is what I want to be able to do.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing that. And yes, don't give away too much of the plot of the play, because we want people to come out and share that and see that with you in June. And I think it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to see it. There's reasons sometimes when I will set some things aside and I see plays that are coming up and I'm going, I'm not going to read it and I'm not going to hear too much about it because I want to go and see it. I want to, sit and experience this. We want to say again, this is going to be a 4-part series that we've got coming up this summer, starting in June. Opening with God of Carnage with Deborah Bromley. And what are the other shows? I know we're still putting together one for July, but I think we have August and September lined up already, don't we, Chris?
Right. So I have 2 of the people, and I've been they have suggested a few things, talking about potentially Harold and Maude, although the cast size is huge. So I've been urging them to have a different favorite show.
Have the whole audience on stage reading this.
Right. Yeah. It's never a good look to have a larger audience, larger cast than audience. Right. That's the order of the words for the information. And I know I think what is really fascinating to me is what people have, when you ask them what they want to do, they say something that you don't expect them to. I've known Deborah to mostly feel really comfortable in comedy. Be it grounded or wacky. I've seen her do both, but they're still, in the comedy realm. And when she said, I want to do something that has humor in it for sure, but that's dramatic, to show the dramatic side of me, I went, this makes sense to me. And it's a really nice revelation, as I've got one of the nicest, George George, one of the nicest guys on the planet, just a giant teddy bear, is like, I want to play a bastard. I want people to know that I could be a jerk.
George
Like,
Helen?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
just recently saw him in Hand to God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who he played a jerk, and he's like, I want more
He did?
experience doing that. I was like, like seeing that show where he got to play something that he wouldn't normally play,
Right.
because he was our angel.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. I was like, that was very different when he hit the stage and was being him. I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah, both
Thank you.
on stage and off. George is one of the sweetest human beings
Yeah.
I've ever met. And then, like, George, don't say those things on stage. Don't say those things that are lines that I know you're acting, but no, breaking the
But
veil.
that sounds just bad coming from you. Stop. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, people expect these things of me. A couple of our, one of the women that I'm approaching is a bit older. She is like, I don't get to do comedy. I get to do drama or this sort of thing. I want to play crotchety. I want to play like she. I'm still working with her to get her to go, absolutely, yes, I'm available here. But another one of those really sweet, amazing people that everyone loves. She's like, I just want to play a bitch, Chris. That's what I want to do. It's a really interesting thing, and other people that I've talked to about the future of it, like, I want to play things that people don't expect of me.
Sure.
No.
That's absolutely fair, and that's how we stretch.
Yeah.
As an artist, if you're a musician, you play the same song over and over again, you get a little tired. You got to play something a little more challenging, something that's got some different depth to it. So I think it's amazing that this is the concept that we're bringing forth, and we won't stop with just these four. This is just the pilot program. We're gonna keep going, hopefully, with all of this. So,
and I did want to throw in there for this, our director, Atom Modafia, can't be with us this evening, a family event thingy, is just really jazzed to do something this sort of intimate and small, and just play. That's one of the elements as well, is that we want to get directors who want to prove they could do something a little bit different as well. So it's not just like, I don't just want to find the actors. We should also plug the other actors in the show. It is not a Deborah one-person show.
No, there's some
it's all about her.
Background dancers and
I'm really excited because these three actors who are also joining me, Jackie from Big Idea, she directed me in the One Acts festival that they did. So I'm really looking forward to seeing her perform. I think she's feisty, just as herself. So this will be fun. Jim Last, I've performed with on 2 shows with, and he also played my husband in All My Sons, and he got yelled at. That is.
he also got a hug.
Yeah. And then Tim as well. Just he was in Good People, performed in Good People, and it's going to be wonderful to be on stage with him as well, because there's a difference between directing someone and performing with someone.
Sure.
I think so. That's going to be just fun. So they're all fabulous people, and I think it's nice to throw in some possibly new characters that they haven't had the opportunity to ever perform and play before. I think one of the things as an actor, one of the biggest compliments I ever got performing was when I was doing theater in Monterey. I had a lady pull me aside after a show, and she just said, I got to tell you, I know I've seen you in all these shows, but I never see you until I have to read the bios and then go, oh my gosh, we've seen her. Oh my gosh, we've seen her. Oh my gosh, we've seen her. I think the biggest compliment as an actor is they never see you. And I think that's the biggest thing. I still look the same ish. I just don't act the same.
Yeah. Well, you've embodied that role enough for them that
I'll take it. I will take it.
That's what you're going to do. You suspend the belief. It's wonderful. That's the beauty of theater.
I have to reveal Deborah's magic trick, though.
What's that? Scare little children? Because I've done that.
It's the scarf.
Yes, the scarf. The scarf doesn't scare the children. It's just the roles that I did children's theater, and I had a little girl who'd never done acting before, and she was so confused. She goes, "Okay, backstage you're so nice and you're happy and you're really nice to everyone, and then we see you on stage and you're really mean and scary. What's wrong?" And I go, "I'm just." So I pointed to the director. I showed my script and I said, "You see this?" She goes, "Uh-huh. You see that person? Yeah. That person says I can be mean. I can play this."
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Community theater pretend play for big people. Yes,
Oh.
that's exactly what it is. It's like, go pretend to be this part, and you can do that too. No, that's a testament to your own acting chops and the sincerity of which you approach a role. So great. That's high praise for an actor to hear those kinds of things. So
Scare children? Yes.
congratulations. Yeah, absolutely.
I've only gotten to terrify them based upon my voice and the characters I've played. That's why I got.
Listen, you have plenty of time. Don't worry about it.
I'll be a cute old man.
All right.
I also wanted to throw out really quick,
yes.
if anybody, like, this is open. I mean, we're trying to cultivate the first 4 to show what we can do
Mhm.
and what the goals are, which is why we're trying to do a comedy and a that. But if anybody is like, I have to do this show, I want to do this show, or if you're like, I don't even have a favorite show, I just want to be a part of this thing, that like, it is, just like why can't I think Elizabeth Taylor tonight, starring Elizabeth Taylor in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. This is tonight starring Deborah Bromley in God of Carnage. There are 3 other actors who we had to find to put in it. We want to do shows with casts that are people you might not have worked with before. So please contact us and be like, I would love to do this. I would love to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Want to direct, please let us know. And as we move on, the ending goal here, I think, would be every single actor in Sacramento getting to do their dream show at some point.
So we'll be busy for the next few years, which will be wonderful.
At least 2.5 years.
At least.
There are 30 actors total in Sacramento.
I had a little bit higher count, but yeah, you could be right.
I don't get out much.
I know, and that's okay. That's okay. We'll introduce you to the
man with a cat.
You're a man with a cat. Oh, so we did mention that this first one's going to be a big idea theater. Mm-hmm. What are some of the other theaters that are hosting us for this?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Iris. There. Can we take that?
You're just so bad. No, that's going on there just as it is, because people, I warned them up front we were foolish tonight, so it's okay. It's okay.
I really want people to take me seriously.
That's gone.
So depending upon what we're doing is reaching out to various theater spaces that fit. Like, this is a 4-person cast, so it's great for spaces like the Uli or Thistledew, Theater in the Heights, and of course Big Idea, a 4-person cast. I think they're doing, the show right now has a 5, the show they just closed has a 5-person cast. They're great at small intimate theater. So God of Carnage, like foot to shoot, Cinderella style. Mm-hmm. If somebody brings us a larger show, then we want to be able to adapt to the space and make it right. So the other spaces that we're looking at, California Stage over at R25, Elise's space, especially if we do something small, 2 to 4 cast, great over at the Uli. Celebration Arts, we've talked to, and have our fingers out to other places just in case. But I think the first 4 will be depending upon the number of cast and the time frame. Uli, California, and Celebration once those deals go through. Of course, hopefully also, just like every actor, Sacramento will get a job doing this. Every theater space will have us grace them. The other thing we're attempting to do is be there either opening weekend Sunday after the Sunday matinee or second weekend in a run, so that we can say directly to our audience, you are here and they just gave us this space to do this show. Please come see their show next
Their
weekend.
show. Yeah, absolutely.
You already know how to get here. You're here right now. You could have that seat next Saturday.
Right.
Come help out.
Yeah. The cross promotion is going to be one of our favorite pieces that we're looking at here, because so often people don't know that there's this theater over there and they're doing these amazing things. Where is it? Oh, it's, you've been there. No, they haven't. So even though those of us who are sort of in the loop know where things are, not everybody knows where these wonderful spaces are. So I'm really glad to be able to promote the theater along with the actors who are getting to do their, favorite pieces all of all times.
Well, it is really difficult in the area, and I know Deborah and I have talked about this, and I think you and I have talked about this. I was like, last year while artistic directing over at the stage, I saw next to nothing. I was always doing stage pieces or going to see a show that somebody I was just in a cast with. I'd be like, I have to go this Saturday. I will take a lot of coffee and throw it at my face to go see the show. Like, you get really streamlined, and this is a nice way to potentially, like in one-stop shop, meet new people, see one show. It's not expensive. Where tickets are $10, mostly just to cover rights. Because we do have to pay rights to the playwright.
Yes.
Go WGA strike.
Well,
little plug there.
Yeah.
But and so that you can come see actors that you might not have seen someplace else, to ask to come audition for your. That's one of the reasons that we're doing this, is to have you get a sense of you directors, you cast from other places. Like, I just saw this person in this. Call them. This is
right.
Yeah.
It's very much like a sort of a general audition kind of scenario. We used to do those a lot. In fact, we'll be bringing those back this year too, and having a bunch of actors in one place and a bunch of directors in one place, and here, go over here and read for this person, now go over there and read for that person. And when you get a chance to do these on stage for that, hopefully it'll trigger, I saw that person in this that one night only, let me get in touch with them, and hopefully there will be some connection. Networking, it's all about the networking.
We do get so streamlined at the places that we're at. I know a lot of theater, I'm getting calls from people to, like, can you recommend somebody for this? Because I had a pool of people that became my pool of people. And I don't know half the other people in town because I didn't get a chance to go see those shows.
Right. Yeah.
I'm always at that theater. I'm always at this one, or that person's always
Yeah. And it does get tricky after a point. I think that's the unique space that SARTA kind of fills, because we aren't a theater. Right. And we can ask you guys to come in and do these kinds of things. Just like the cabaret we did for, Big Day of Giving. We had 17 musical theater junkies, just like some of us are, come up and say, yes, we want to do a cabaret, and we're just going to do it. There were no props. There was nothing. They just got up there with some microphones and dazzled, and it was wonderful. And you know what? We're doing that one again too. So, stay tuned. It'll be in November, so you guys will be free. So it'll be wonderful. But yeah, those sorts of events are sort of where everybody gets to see each other, and it's like, oh man, I didn't know you did this.
Yep.
Have you met Deborah Bromley? Do you know how amazing she is? Well, let me tell you. Let me show you. Here you go.
You had to show no emotion for 35 minutes in the last thing we worked on.
Do you know how good she is? Look at this. You're right.
Yeah. I really appreciate that SARTA is doing this sort of thing, because I realized that when I had pitched it, it was about trying to get talent up to a theater as opposed to just promoting Sacramento people and Sacramento theaters. Like, not having it affiliated with any specific theater is a really great way of creating a community thing. So I'm happy to be a part of that journey.
And again, we appreciate that. And this is where I get to do the egregious plug for volunteers. These nice people are volunteers. And this is how this happens, because all of us here at SARTA are also volunteers. If you have a great idea, if you want to be a part of this, like Chris said, please get in touch with us. sarta.com. You'll see the information on our slides when we move away from this video. I will be talking to you about it again. We have a volunteer page on our website. If you want to get involved, please let us know. We just had 2 other people from Big Day of Giving go to our volunteer page, and now we've got them looped in and they're doing volunteer work for us. So there's always something to do. I know it works. Doggone it. It works. There's always something to do. There's always a place we can use you. And we thank you ahead of time for, supporting SARTA, supporting amazing community theater, supporting our actors, our producers, our people with big ideas like Chris, and our actors with dream job pieces like Deborah. And did you guys have anything else you'd like to say to everybody before we bug out of here and quit bothering them for a while? We'll be back. We'll be back to talk more.
Oh, I heard you say volunteer, so I'm not getting my check this time.
We'll talk after. Okay. Anyway, so Deborah, did you?
I'll need to have your people speak to my people, and we'll discuss that.
Yes.
A little people meeting. Yeah.
Yes, you'll have a people meeting. You have a people meeting.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we thank you, Deborah Bromley. Thank you, Chris Smith.
Thank you.
Once again, this is going to be God of Carnage, one night only, tonight starring Deborah Bromley. It's going to be amazing. Big Idea Theater. Go to the SARTA website. The information's up. Tickets are on sale. You can get them now. And we thank these guys for joining us this evening. I always enjoy talking to both of you. Chris and I can do this for hours, which is dangerous. But we solved
so many global problems.
We have. Just listen to us, So I will say thank you for that tonight. Thank you all for joining us for this community conversation. We'll see you again. Hope to see you at the theater.
Yay.
All right, everyone. That was our wonderful interview with Deborah Bromley and Chris Smith, talking about God of Carnage, tonight starring. It's a one night only event. It's coming up on June 11th. And as we pointed out, tickets are on sale right now at the website. Please go and get tickets. This is a fundraising event. We appreciate it. We are using monies for theater stipends. We are using monies for scholarships. We was at a board meeting the other night, and we've got 2 more scholarship applications. So, we are helping send these children to camps and workshops and classes. You can be a part of this, and tonight's starring is going to help us do these things. Our wonderful community volunteers who come in, support us, put these on, have the brilliant ideas to put these kinds of productions on so that we can continue to support people out there in community theater. Not a big production. We don't need weeks of rehearsal. We are going to get together, grab the rights to a show, do a staged reading so that people who have always wanted to do this particular piece are going to get a chance to do it. So we're so excited to be sharing this first one with you. I hope to, in the future, be able to interview the director for this. And we're trying to get that arranged. And as I said, next week we're going to have another community conversation for you, this time from the folks at Woodland Opera House, which is going to be wonderful also. So stay tuned for that one. Thank you for joining us this evening. As always, when we're looking at these things, I always ask you to please help us help you. We want to publicize what's going on. Go to our website, go to the auditions and shows page. Put your information in. We have a Google form that you can fill out with all of your data, upload your posters. We'll put it on the community calendar. We'll get it all in there. If we don't get it in there, if you put it in and you don't see us, please get back with us again and let us know if you don't see it. At sarta.com, let us publicize what your theater is doing. Follow us if you haven't already done so. If you're here tonight, click the follow button, the little heart there on the Twitch page, and you'll get a notification each week when I open up and get ready to tell you what's going on this week at the theater. And we'd love to have you follow there. You can follow us on Facebook at Sarda Theaters. You can follow us on YouTube at Sarda Theaters. Once we record these, I always do a download and put it over onto our YouTube page. So it's archived. So if you want to go back and look at some of the ones that have come before, you can go back and see them. There are other community conversations there. You can check through our listing of previous broadcasts and see what's there. And, oh my God, they talked to the people from this theater company or that theater company. And take a look at what we shared, because we put it there so that we can have that for you. So follow us. And I say this to you each week. I always tell you, I hope you'll take me up on it one of these times. If you see me out there, please say hi, because I hope I'm going to see you at the theater. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. We appreciate you so much. Have a great rest of your week and enjoy your 4-day weekend, because you're going to get a really nice Memorial Day weekend, okay? All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.